Episode 125 of the State of the Old Republic podcast was originally recorded on March 11th, 2024. It's the State of the Old Republic podcast. Buckle up, everyone, because tomorrow we're going back to Copero. I'll tell you about that and everything else coming in Game Update 741, Building a Foundation. A new rewards track called Ancient Armaments is getting added to the daily login calendar rotation. I'll tell you what we'll be getting from it. Spoiler alert, it's armaments. And finally, transfers to Shae Vizla are opening with 741. I'll review the special rules regarding transfers to the server. And with that, it's time to make the jump to lightspeed.
And cue the moron.
Welcome to episode 125 of the State of the Old Republic podcast. I'm your host, Ted, and as you heard in the opening, I have a great show lined up for you today. Well, it was just under a month ago that Game Update 741 was announced, and now here we are. It's about to go live. There's a lot to be excited about in this update, but perhaps none greater than Galactic Season 6, Building a Foundation. As soon as the servers come up, you're going to want to log on and jump straight into Galactic Season 6, and that's because this season's main reward is the Copero Stronghold, which you'll get at level 1 on the Galactic Seasons rewards track. Now, if you're like me, you may have been thinking that while the idea of a home on Copero is awesome, why the heck would the Chiss allow us to establish a stronghold there, given all the trouble we caused the last time we visited? Well, we got a little more background on the story from the official Galactic Season 6 article, which states, in this season story, Building a Foundation, players will be connecting with the Inrakini Chiss family. Historically, the Chiss Ascendancy forbade outsiders from accessing their worlds as well as shunning the use of the sight, the Force, among their own people. The Inrakini family sees the changing times across the galaxy and wishes to learn what strengths the other sentients of the galaxies possess, including the sight, so that they can better prepare their own people. Secretly, and without the knowledge of the rest of the Ascendancy, they set up a remote facility in the mountains of Copero and discreetly invite the player to recruit experts from other species. They offer the use of Chiss technology and a safe haven to pursue various kinds of training in exchange for observation. It's important to note that the Stronghold isn't just a simple reward. It's tied to the Building a Foundation story, and that means you'll only have access to part of the Stronghold when you first get it, and you'll have to play through the season to unlock the rest of it. In the initial area of the Stronghold, you'll find a mission NPC, and this is who you will work with for the first part of the story. When you reach level 15 on the rewards track, you'll unlock a second area in the Stronghold, and then at level 40, you'll unlock a third area as the story concludes. For each part of the story, you'll work with a different narrative character, and yeah, I think all of these characters are permanent residents in the Stronghold. In addition to the 3 story-related areas, subscribers can unlock 3 more areas from the subscriber rewards track, and these will be available at level 42, 67, and 94. And if that weren't enough, all players will have the option to purchase 3 more areas in the Stronghold using cartel coins or credits. As to when you can purchase these areas, we don't know. It's possible to be accessible with the initial Stronghold unlock, or they may be connected to one of the other story-related areas, meaning you won't be able to purchase these until you progress through the story. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, as to who gets what, I'm going to do my best to describe which areas of the Stronghold you get through story, which ones are available to subscribers, and which ones you can purchase. The Stronghold is quite vertical, and it's built on the side of a mountain, and it essentially has 3 tiers. The initial area that you'll get is on Tier 1. It's a little landing area with a walkway into the main building. This building has a couple of staircases that lead up to Tier 2. On Tier 2 is a balcony on the main building, and that balcony is one of the subscriber-only rooms. Also on Tier 2, there are 2 buildings, one to the right and one to the left of the main building, and these are tied to the story. You'll unlock one of these at level 15 and the other at level 40. And then way out to the right on Tier 2 is a building that's available to subscribers only. And then way out to the left on Tier 2 is the final building that's available to subscribers. Moving on to Tier 3, there are 2 buildings with paths that lead to gazebos and amazing views, and these are available for purchase. The final area that you can purchase are the docks, which are below the stronghold. Presumably, you would take an elevator down from the main building to get to this area. I know that's very hard to visualize without seeing an image of the stronghold, but if you happen to be on Twitter or X or whatever the heck it's called now, Jackie Co, aka at Geeky Fried Rice, posted a small video explaining the areas of the stronghold. So just to recap, the Copero Stronghold has a total of 9 areas. 3 are granted from the story, 3 are granted to subscribers only, and 3 are available for purchase by anyone. Now, most of us are going to play through the season and unlock everything we can, but what happens once the season is over? Will we still be able to get the stronghold and unlock the rooms? Here's what Jackie Co said about this on the forums. We intend for the stronghold to be available after the season ends and purchasable with Galactic Seasons tokens. The subscriber room unlocks will be available for purchase via Galactic Seasons tokens after the season ends. However, they will still only be available to players who are subscribers. In the case of transferring a character to another server, like, say, Shae Vizla, Jackie wrote, "The rooms will not transfer over. However, players who unlock additional rooms in the Copero Stronghold and transfer a character to a new server will need to get a key unlock from collections and use it at the doors to reactivate them." And lastly, in case you were wondering, the Copero Stronghold cannot be used as a guild stronghold. Of course, what's a stronghold without decorations? And if you're like me, you're now tired of running the trader among the Chiss flashpoint and looting everything that isn't nailed down to the floor. You can put a pause on that, as the Galactic Seasons rewards track will offer a variety of Copero-themed decorations, I believe 15 in all. These include banners, signs, fountains, an umbrella, several arrangements, and an industrial forklift decoration, which looks like it's the reward for completing the Galactic Seasons meta achievement. And there is a Copero-themed utility bundle that you can purchase from the cartel market, and these are things like cargo holds and GTN kiosks. Other rewards from Galactic Season 6 include the S1000 Boxer mount and the S1000 Turbo Boxer mount. And I have to say that both of these look awesome. They're a beautiful shiny purple, have a unique design, and the Turbo model's jets match the color of your weapon crystals. There is a pearlescent purple metallic gold dye, which looks incredible. In fact, it matches the color of the Boxer mounts. It's not clear how many dye packs we'll get, but I really hope it's more than just one. There are the Ito creature mounts. They look similar to Tauntauns, but I think they look better, and I really like these. This season's armor sets are the Builder's Apprentice armor set and the Master Builder's armor set. Apart from the helmets, I like the look of both these sets, especially the Builder's Apprentice armor. I'm probably going to use that on a few characters. The weapons are okay. I like the lightsabers more than I do the blasters this time around. All in all, this looks like a great set of rewards coming in Galactic Season 6. I almost wish I had a giant stack of cartel coins so I could just buy level 100 and casually work on the meta achievements. That's how much I like what I'm seeing here. To see the full list of rewards and upcoming objectives, be sure to check out the Galactic Season 6 article on swotor.com. So there you have it. You'll be able to move into the new Copero Stronghold on Tuesday and maybe spend the first night there with that special someone.
It's been far too long since we had a moment to focus on each other.
Maybe some real time off. No saving the galaxy.
An evening with you is one I cherish always.
Let's get away for a bit, just the two of us. What do you say?
That's right, Date Night with Companions is part of Game Update, 741. For those characters that are eligible, you will receive an Alliance alert where you can go on your date night. These date nights are cinematic-only missions, and they are repeatable. You can do them once a week, and in fact, you are encouraged to do so. In 741, you can go on a date night with Lana Beniko, Theron Shan, Koth Vertana, and Arkin, individually. No freaky stuff. So why these four? Ashley Rule, the narrative director for SWTOR, explained on Twitter, or X, or whatever the heck they call it, why they chose Lana, Theron, Koth, and Arkin as the first companions. She wrote, "We've chosen to debut these four companions since they're romanceable by every gender and every class, but the plan is to roll out 1 to 2 date night new missions featuring companions who don't have them yet alongside each Galactic season." Caitlin Sullivan Kelly, the lead writer for SWTOR, clarified a few things on Twitter, or X, or whatever the heck they call it, and she wrote, "I've seen a couple of people ask when they can actually start the date night missions once they go live, and the answer is that they'll be available once you reach the point in the story to confirm a romance with that companion." She went on to add, "Keep in mind that after this point, the companion has to still be available to you to access the date night missions. Sorry, no ghost dates." Ashley Rule went on to praise the voice actors when she wrote, "All the voice actors, both companions and players, did such an incredible job with the date night content. I defy you not to squee when you hear it." And Eric Todd Dellums, who voices Arkin, wrote in response to the date night teaser, "Damn, I sound sexy. Anyone thirsty? Arkin is ready." Well, okay then. Date night with Lana, Theron, Koth, and Arkin, individually, no freaky stuff, is coming in 741. Date night with other companions, perhaps with freaky stuff, coming with future Galactic Seasons. Back in 2020, the Log-On Rewards calendar was introduced into the game and has largely remained untouched since its launch. In 741, it's getting an update. Well, really an addition. It turns out that there are a lot of weapons and armor sets that were once readily available to players that are now difficult, if not impossible, to obtain. In an effort to resurface these items, the Ancient Armaments Log-On Rewards is getting added to the rotation of rewards calendars. And through this track, we'll be able to earn weapons and armor sets that we can use for outfits. Joe Stramaglia, a systems designer for Star Wars The Old Republic, took to the forums to explain what they're doing. These armors and weapons are new versions of existing ones that had randomized stats, and that there was no other way to acquire their appearance in the game aside from existing world drops. These were no longer available to trade on the Galactic Trade Network due to the back-end changes, but there are others that may not have been tradable at all. There are a lot of them, hundreds of weapons and over 2,000 armor pieces. This reward calendar will operate very similar to our 3 existing reward calendars, complete with achievements and various items available on the track. This has been added to the rotation of login calendars, so it might not show up right away. The big change to this one is it will include a chance to get some of these new versions of previous appearances. There will be a weapons pack and an armors pack on the calendar. The weapon pack will give you a fitted weapon from the list of new weapons. The armor pack will give you one complete set of one of these armor sets. The packs will be legacy bound, but the contents will be bind on equip. The Ancient Armaments login track won't be the only way to get these weapons and armor sets. We can also get them through world drops. Joe wrote, "Many of these have been difficult to acquire due to requiring specific levels or planets or various other rules. These new ones can drop in any world drop. World drops will be single pieces of armor or a weapon. You can still get the normal randomized stat world drops. These drop in addition to them. However, because we're adding all of these new items to the normal drop pool, they have no vendor value. So if you want credits for them, you'll need to do some trading. If you don't want to bother with all of that, you can always destroy them, though they will not disassemble." And like other loot items, these armor sets and weapons will have different levels of quality and rarity. According to Joe, in both cases of the packs as well as the world drops, higher quality items will be rarer. Premium is the most common, followed by Prototype and then Artifact. Because they can drop at any level, they should appear a bit more frequently than many of our other armor world drops. Joe went on to say that the items will not be available in collections, so if you need them for different characters, you'll have to get lucky with world drops or buy them from the GTN. I think this is ultimately a good thing, but I do wonder about it. I'm not familiar enough with these items, so I don't know what they look like. Are these armor sets and weapons that people will want to use? Will people want to buy them on the GTN? And then what about inventory bloat? Will my desire to hoard everything kick in? And will this be another set of junk that takes up space in my inventory? Or will this become a situation where I'm constantly destroying items? I really won't know until I see it, but I'm hoping there are some rare treasures out there that I'll want to use for my characters. Well, coming up, I'll talk about transfers to the Shae Vizla server, but first, here are some of the other features and random fixes coming in Game Update 741. A new character convenience unlock has been added to Legacy perks. Once unlocked, players will be able to reach the GTN at any time without needing to travel to the fleet, their personal starship, various planets, or strongholds. The perk grants you a GTN droid. For level 1, the droid has a 60-minute cooldown, requires player level of 20, and costs 3.5 million credits or 400 cartel coins. Level 2 lowers the cooldown to 45 minutes, requires player level 50, and costs 7 million credits or 250 cartel coins. And level 3 lowers the cooldown to 15 minutes, requires player level 80, and costs 15 million credits or 250 cartel coins. Utility decorations are getting an art update in 741, and don't worry if you already own some of these, they will get updated automatically. You won't have to repurchase or reacquire anything. There are some new items coming to the cartel market, including a new green gold metallic dye, and there are some new armor sets and weapons inspired by the Ahsoka series on Disney+. There's the Prime Centurion armor set based on the character Enoch, and the Gothic Master armor set based on the characters Merrick, Balin, and Shin. The weapons that you can get are the Gothic Master Dual Saber and the Gothic Master Lightsaber. Other random fixes coming in 741, including a fix to the unread mail UI icon so that it once again properly updates when new mail is received. The repair tab on vendors and repair droids can once again be accessed. They reduced the required missions to complete the weekly daily area, Kessen's Landing, to 8. It's down from 10. They updated the Imperial Arrival cinematic for Voss. Regeneration toys will correctly regenerate resources for all origin story and combat style combinations. HK-51's scoped Assassinator rifle can no longer be equipped on player characters. The Mechsha Safehouse Stronghold unlock is now properly displayed in the Legacy window. Companions will now join in the first boss fight in Objective Meridian on solo story mode for Imperial characters. And finally, the overlay map will now correctly update when quick traveling from an exterior to an interior location. Be sure to check out SWTOR.com for the full list of patch notes for Game Update 741. I mentioned earlier that the first thing you'll want to do when 741 goes live is hop right into Galactic Season 6, but perhaps before you do that, you might want to transfer some characters to the Shae Vizla server. I talked about this back in January, but it's worth going over again, as transfers can be tricky, and there are special rules that apply only to Shae Vizla. So this is how it's going to work. For the first 30 days after the transfers open, players who have an active subscription and who have been an active subscriber since January 2nd, 2024 will be able to transfer up to 16 characters for free, and free is good. For the first 90 days after transfers open, all subscribers will receive a 50% discount, that's a cost of 500 cartel coins, on transfers to Shae Vizla. In other words, if you don't meet the criteria for the free transfers, you'll have to pay to transfer a character, but at half the price. Now, if you're a non-subscriber, you too can pay to transfer a character to Shae Vizla. However, you'll have to pay the full transfer rate, which is 1,000 cartel coins. Now, there are some other restrictions as well. First, your characters must be level 20 or higher. And second, there is a credit cap of 15 million credits per character. So free transfers up to 16 characters and 15 million credits per, that's a total of 90 million credits if you do all 16. That's a pretty good deal. If you were looking to make Shae Vizla your main server and you had the characters to move, this would give you a pretty good start. Those are all the Shae Vizla specific rules. Let's get into what happens when you transfer a character. Some things transfer and some things don't, but all in all, it's set up pretty well, and there are more positives than negatives here. Let's start with your character's name. When you transfer a character to a new server, if your name is taken, you will have to choose a new one. You won't be able to play with that character until you do. One way to find out if your character's name is taken is to create a new character on the server you're transferring to and try to give them your character's name. If it works, you can hang on to that character and then delete it when you're ready to transfer. On the flip side, if you're transferring a character whose name you don't like, this is a way to get a free name change for your character. Your loadouts will transfer with your character, as will your equipped gear, items in your inventory, and items in your personal cargo hold. Starting with Game Update 741, outfits will now transfer over with your characters. That said, if you have an outfit that you're particularly fond of, make sure you have the armor pieces and weapons and anything else you need to recreate it, especially if you put a dye module in any of the armor pieces. Your in-game email and GTN listings will not transfer with your character, so make sure those are all clear. Legacy currency will not transfer. These are things like tech fragments, conquest commendations, and the like. Items in your legacy cargo hold will not transfer. Items in your material storage will not transfer. If you need crafting materials, you'll need to pull them out of storage and put them into your personal inventory or personal cargo hold. Items in your item stash, the storage allocated for items you get from opening cartel packs, will not transfer. Bottom line here, if there are items you want to take with you, make sure they're in your personal inventory or personal cargo hold. So what about legacy, achievements, and strongholds? Well, there's a lot of good to be had here with transfers. And I think for a lot of people, this will be the main reason to transfer some characters to Shae Vizla. Transferring a character to a new server is more than just moving them to a new home. If you have a strong legacy on the Origin server, you can really boost your quality of life and gameplay experience for all characters on the new server. It's definitely something to consider, even if you don't plan on making Shae Vizla your main server. When you transfer a character to a new server, your entire legacy comes with you. This means all legacy unlocks and achievements. If you already have a legacy on the server, the legacies will merge, and they will merge in your favor. To put it in simple terms, highest legacy wins. So all of those global legacy unlocks, a GTN on your starship, the companion unlocks that grant stats and class buffs, the dark and light abilities, species unlocks and customizations, datacrons, all of that conveys when you transfer. Achievements are transferred as well. Let's say you're transferring from a server where you have the Galactic Conqueror title that you get from Conquest. You'll now have that achievement on the new server. And what about strongholds and decorations? Well, again, pretty much good news here. Any strongholds that were available to you on your old server will now be available on the new server, but here's the deal. If you purchase the stronghold with cartel coins, you can get it for free on the new server. If you purchase the stronghold with credits, you will need to repurchase that stronghold. The good news is, any rooms that you had previously unlocked will be unlocked. You don't have to repurchase those. Strongholds from Galactic Seasons transfer over, and I'm talking about the 2 fleet penthouses and the Shae safe house, and I already talked about how the Copero Stronghold will transfer. It should be noted that on the new server, your stronghold will be empty, and you will have to redecorate them. That said, all of the decorations that you had on the other server will transfer with you, and there is some magic merging that goes on if you have unlocked the same decoration on both servers, which in the past has led to being able to go over the cap for a decoration. I don't know if that's still the case. And finally, because you can transfer up to 16 characters for free, You might find yourself transferring characters from multiple servers, and that's when the streams get crossed and all hell breaks loose, and you end up with multiple versions of a stronghold, at least you used to, and who knows what other wonkiness ensues. So there you have it, transfers to Shae Vizla coming when 741 goes live. One more thing to wrap up before I let you go today. I saw a nice tweet from Shae Vizla, the actress who voices Cleo Janice, and she wrote, TBT to my days as the voice behind the kick-ass Cleo Janice in Star Wars The Old Republic. Navigating the galaxy with Cleo was an unforgettable journey filled with mischief, seduction, and fabulous one-liners. I'm always grateful for a trip through a galaxy far, far away, and for the fantastic Star Wars community, of course. So what are your favorite Cleo moments? The first character I ever played in SWTOR was an Imperial agent, and Cleo was the first companion I encountered. I loved her right from the start. I never sat down and ranked all of the companions, but she's definitely top 10 for me, if not higher. And I often wonder if for the actors, this is just another job, or if they actually bond with these characters that they help bring to life. I think it's safe to say that after 12 years, Shae still has a fondness for Cleo and can't wait to see what they do for her for date night. As for my favorite Cleo moment, obviously there are too many to choose, but this one always brings a smile to my face.
About 5 levels down, there's this one Sky Trooper. Totally wrong program. Likes to give back rubs. Best things a ghoul ever did.
Well, I know where I'm going next.
And that's the state of the Old Republic for today. Let me cut in the sublight engines and cue the music and congratulate you on surviving another half hour, give or take, listening to episode 125 of the State of the Old Republic podcast. I'm your host, Ted, and I thank you for tuning in. You can find this podcast on Buzzsprout and iTunes and wherever else you find your podcasts. I'm also back to putting these up on YouTube. You can listen to the show directly from the show's site, which is sotorpodcast.com, and there is an RSS feed where you can subscribe to the podcast directly. If you have a question for the show, you can email me at sotorpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, remember the Sith code, take